I'll just log out from here so you can just test it on your, yeah?
Yeah.
I'll log out from this one, from my laptop. You're out.
Thank you. We do this I think around half an hour already.
I know. Cool.
Thank you so much.
already.
Playing music for the whole place.
The fuck else are you gonna do? No one else is playing music. I don't know fucking on my phone.
I know it. You need some noise, so.
So it's just worse than anything. It's awkward, uncomfortable.
Looking at that table, I'm like, I could 3D print that.
That's right, Cam. What have you been up to, my friend?
Trying to buy a bar.
Sit down and tell me your woes.
I don't have any
About
bars.
your car.
No woes.
Social bar. I want to hear about it.
Salt Coronado. With your bar. Over in that lower 8.
Wait,
You know that place?
I just heard that name today. I don't.
Coronado.
Yeah.
Well, it's alive. What, do you have like an idea for it? Like a theme or anything? Well, it's already a bar, and the owner's retiring. We're keeping it the way it is. It's like a dive bar. It's like metal.
Did you say you're gonna buy in Tornado?
Yeah.
That's dope. Because I heard it was closing.
Yeah. Well, it is if
They don't accept his offer.
if I don't buy it, it's closing. Yeah.
It's like one of the only bars that used to have like really awesome craft beer
Yeah.
from like Russian River.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
They still do.
Just learning about it.
Russian River Waves today.
It's in that section of Lower 8 with like hell bars right there. It's crazy.
Oh, hell yeah.
What's it? Maggie McGarry's or whatever is across the street, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, by the way. I'm Renee.
Yeah. I feel like we met him several times.
Oops, my bad.
Yeah, no worries.
I really like you know,
Yeah, you're the guy who can code without knowing how to code.
That's my reputation I go by. I also
No, it's dope. We went to, there was some event where we were with Colin and you like, we were both like fucking drunk together and you were like live coding for Colin on
my
the screen
God.
and I was like telling you what to code and we were like, you were
I
building
know-
websites that were live on the screen and we were like, this
That
is
was,
fucking hilarious.
I know the exact night,
Yeah.
and I was so drunk.
Dude, yeah. It was a lot of fun. You could probably do it at Tornado.
I probably could. Maybe we need to make that a debacle where we get like a bunch of people hyped up. I'll just come do it.
There's a back room over there. This is kind of all like a laptop room. So.
Hell yeah.
Like we're building like very elaborate projects together and he's like talking to them about it. But then like we go to post to GitHub and he like messes it up. You know what you're doing?
My brother Mark and Dubsy.
that's one there.
It's
still.
this is an upper gate, right? It's past Buena Vista Bar. It's up and over the hill. But that was a bar I read that was actually reopened.
Okay.
I was super stoked on that.
Oh, that's good.
Eat that shit.
Are you gonna be throwing like also live stream at that tournament?
It's not really set up for it, but we want to.
They do like trivia and stuff.
I don't think they do anything. I don't know.
I want to be a part of that.
They just get hammered. There we go.
We can do want a place to do like a comedy like tech bros like type thing, like
Oh, yeah.
Liz Laney if you've seen her.
Yeah.
They do that one in.
Yeah.
I've tried to go, but the tickets are always like $50. And I'm like, I don't know if this is
kind of
worth it.
expensive.
That is such a crazy entertainment. I completely forgot about that.
These features, yeah, it is. I mean, a lot of those events, I just would get hammered and like do dumb shit.
Always in view, brother. Having a fun time. What are you up to right now? What are you doing?
I run a media agency with a partner. So we have some clients that we do everything from like public relations to internal comms. Yeah, some big crypto projects. We work with
Actually, yeah, I'm gonna slide this over here. I'm gonna put my coffee here.
technically small clients. But then, yeah, like a lot of small projects. Some different, larger projects too. And yeah, just like media shit. Like I'm going to Vegas next week. I'm gonna film and record a bunch of people, and produce it for this blog. Yeah.
Good shit. What do you like working on? The Final Cut, Premiere, what kind of guy you?
Oh, in terms of so I actually I don't do any of the video
Oh,
editing.
no editing, just film.
No, so I actually I do everything audio, I guess I should say.
So Logic or Pro Tools or what is it? I do everything
I
audio
basically usually I actually just bought this like new recorder so I have to try it out. But what I've been doing is just like literally guitar or GarageBand.
Oh, what you doing, man?
Just cutting audio with that.
You got any like plugins that you plug into?
No.
Really? Like you use like Waves?
I usually will then take that audio and put it into something like some sort of like Adobe has some AI like podcast it's like me and a couple guys, and the main part of it, it's called Daily Crypto News. You can find it on Spotify. We use like a Substack as well, where on Spotify it's mainly the Daily Show, which is like Monday to Friday. Where there's another host who does that. I actually might start doing that in June because he wants to pause for a bit. But yeah, there's another guy who does that Monday to Friday. It's like 15-20 minutes. You should be able to get all the info you need about what's happening with that guy. And then, yeah, then we just post like some long-form stuff as well. And we have some writing on the Substack that we publish every once in a while. Yeah, I mean that's just the side gig. Like the main job is media stuff online. That's what it is.
I was just curious. I like that.
Yeah,
Ask a lot of
well,
questions.
dude, what I've actually found is like I'm finding like this sweet spot where, because for like 2 years I was just doing all those interviews for free. I just like interview friends or interview projects I knew. I just randomly have started asking people for $200 for each thing. I'm like, oh my god, this is like the greatest side gig now. Yeah, make an extra $1,000 a month.
It's really quick.
I literally started doing that like 2 months ago, and I'm like still jazzed on it. Like,
Yeah, bro. Yeah, like it's you should be happy. Like one day you'll.
and I'm like, well, the thing is I'm still doing the like shitty Riverside editing too. I'm like, what? Like, maybe I should pay an editor now.
That's a you question. How much money more can you make now?
Yeah, I hire an editor, do it all like that. I keep wanting to find like some AI who's like smoothie skills and that shit.
I mean, realistically, if I just told you we have like Logic Pro X, and you also have like some of these tools where you just do like a couple different plugins, you could probably realistically have it all done with a permanent like stupid. Like you would like never pay again, you would know how to do it, and it would cost you a total of $200. Well, I mean, less about that. Look at the wage.com. Yeah, I used to be an audio. I know way too much about audio. I hate audio engineering. In fact, I don't even do it anymore. I just put my audio in, pop in a couple plugins, it's done. Waves.com. I know a lot more than I fuck the annual subscription. Just go and buy a bundle. Buy a bundle, the bundle gives you like yeah, and then the cool part is like it'll cost you like I don't know, $80, $100 or whatever. You'll get like fucking 80 different fucking plugins. Plugins, you're just gonna need like 3 or 4 of them. And you won't ever have to worry about anything ever again. See, like compressors, great. Put some of that in, put a de-esser on, you're done. Throw on C4, done. You don't even need to click anything more than 3 seconds. Take 3 cents and you're done.
You just record into their like software.
You're gonna still use GarageBand, or for me, I use Logic Pro. It's 10 times easier, and I have no clue how to use fucking GarageBand.
Okay. Yeah, I use GarageBand because that's where I edited on in like fucking college.
Yeah, I edited it on Logic. So I use Logic because I also use Mac. Like $200, it's really not very much. But the cool part is once you get that and you get your Wave plugin and it's all integrated, you just click.
So I want to integrate Wave into GarageBand.
Yeah, it's a plugin. You're just paying for plugin.
Okay. And then the GarageBand will be like install plugin.
Yeah.
Like fucking
Yeah,
install
if
it,
you
and
know-
I just need to click
Yes.
activate plugin and I
Yes.
record that.
Yes. You're still everything's still good GarageBand. The only difference is like whenever you do this, you turn on this plugin, and then whenever your voice is on, maybe it's like this plugin is auto tune.
Yeah.
So you do an auto tune. Okay? But like a bit like don't do auto tune because you don't even understand key and stuff.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I don't-
for the rest, you can do like a describing is already existing. It's the biggest music industry product ever.
No, I just built this like for fun when like ChatGPT 3 first came out. It was just like it's just on my GitHub, like open source.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's right now an AI that pictures content and everything. It'll create the song, create everything, and then you can also like have it structured out in multiple. So like the way you were describing it, you can actually piece it.
Yeah.
So that's great. So you ended up working on something like that before it was cool.
Yeah. I was working at like City DAO and I was telling everyone like every single DAO contributor can be replaced by AI like this year. Everyone's like, you're crazy. Like, and then it just slowly
Not so
like
crazy
got to that
anymore.
point. Yeah. I was building multi-agent like workflows very early on. So like ChatDev, when that first came out, we had like the biggest like portion of that repo. But yeah, everybody was so like caught up on like the error rate and like hallucinations. They're like, you can never trust an agent to like do a job. And I was like, no, you have multiple agents that like check each other's work. Yeah.
Hi. My name's Alan.
I was asking this like,
Because I want to learn the most.
dude,
I'm flying in here like one bug.
Keep going.
I just swung at it.
Your name is California?
but I was asking this dude that I interviewed recently who
Yeah.
like builds little AI robots. He's like is based in Palo Alto and he's like walking around and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But I asked him about the hallucinations and he was like real interesting.
Yeah.
Dude, they can start thinking for themselves sometimes.
We're like hallucinating, like just as like in general, like solid
Your
like
eyes lie to
a
your
shared
brain. Yeah, your
hallucination.
eyes lie to your brain.
What? So he builds like robots or dogs? Like,
Yeah, so his name's, I think, if I remember correctly, Don Lippard. He's a Stanford professor.
Okay.
In like cybernetics and bio or whatever. But yeah, apparently like this is what he says and what I've kind of verified by doing a little research online is that yeah, he has little robot dogs and he like walks them around his neighborhood.
that he builds from
Yeah,
scratch.
he built from scratch, yeah. And apparently a couple of them are like they have like are hooked to Ethereum. And so like they'll do things and then it'll like yeah, it'll process and then it'll like
So the dog has gas. It can be higher or low depending on the congestion. So,
that is a good question.
yeah. Every step is an on-chain transaction. No.
That's actually
My uncle had a farm back in the day between dogs and horses and stuff. Those things were not.
I'm so glad I'm not living in a farm anymore.
Yeah, that's.
It's the worst.
Nah, I used to, when I was a kid, I used to love going out there. I'm like, oh, this is so great. We can ride
Yeah,
horses
as a
and stuff.
kid.
And then I got older. It's like, hey, I need you to go do this.
Fuck
do that.
yeah.
No, like, no. Like, just because I'm older doesn't mean I need to go do this stuff. I am not going to be owning a farm. I'm not going to invest in a farm.
Well, you can't like it's hard to expect to be like an adult and then be like, all right, I'm gonna like also run this farm.
Yeah, there's no way. You need to, unless you hire like 20, hire or just have like 20 kids, then like, okay, as you all grow up, here, take over the farm for me, and I can sit back on my rocking chair drinking lemonade like an old person of land. Like, land is good. Land is good.
Y'all ready for today?
I'm as ready as
I
I'm ever
should look
gonna
at
be.
these questions.
Yeah. I don't know anything. I'm just gonna answer.
I'm literally,
Wing it.
I looked at some stuff and I was like, okay, memorize. I'm like, no, because you memorize stuff, then you mess it. You're like, your brain's like, where was that at?
It's better just to go like
Yeah.
off the top. Like if you already know your fucking product, like
Yeah,
you're good.
a lot of stuff's kind of opinionated, so
Yeah.
that's what I like. That way you can just speak your mind. That's what I was telling him. I was like, I don't want like direct, make you think your brain hurt questions.
Yeah.
Like just, it's a weekend, just chill. That's all. Just chill with the concept and be good to go. Samsung S24 Ultra.
Damn, you got the newer version of mine, motherfucker.
I got the 25.
I got the 23.
Oh. I had a fold and I just, and then I was over in Hong Kong earlier this year and I went into a store in the mall and they had UI, the XR Mate or XT Mate or whatever, the three-fold situation. I was like, can I hold this? And they're like, oh yeah, go ahead, go ahead. And that thing is like that thick, each piece. When it's out all the way, it's literally like that thick. Then when you fold it together, it's the thickness of like an iPhone 16. Like how?
So, let me ask. Damn!
Because I don't know how it'll work here, like how well it'll work. Like, I don't care about Google, I don't care about none of that shit. I'll sideload that somehow. But I don't know how like the network will play with it, if it'll play nice.
Well, then let me ask you a question. If money wasn't a problem, would you have bought it?
Oh yeah. I could have bought it. I mean, I was looking at that. I saw a laptop where the screen comes up off the back and makes it bigger. So it's a normal laptop, and then I think it's Lenovo or.
You would never know then if it's good here without already buying it. Why should you have just bought it and come over here with it?
But then how am I gonna return it?
Fuck returning it. We just said like if it was not money wasn't a problem, like, it doesn't matter. But we still need to know. Here, we need that information.
Yeah. So I need you to spend your money, all like 3,200 USD for this phone. If it doesn't work though, at least tell us, so that I know.
But think of the marketing write-off, and now you have market share for that. People come to you as a go-to. There you go, bro.
Well, when I go back, maybe I'll just go to my page.
Do a trade and then we go back.
He has the first mover advantage for a failed product.
Yeah. Is there a fourth fold? There we go. Yeah, transfer that in. Yeah. Yeah, I looked at some of the tech over there. It's just right there in front of you, like I'm going to a Best Buy, except it's their tech. And I'm just like, that laptop I opened, and I'm like, oh, this is really nice. And he's like, there's another screen. And I said, oh, like one of those ones that can desktop. And he goes, no. And he swiped or did something. He did it super quick, and all of a sudden, this roll-up screen comes up, and it's like double the 15.5 screen. It's now another one on top of it. And then it slides back. But when you look at it, when you close it, you don't even see like where it would come from. I'm like, dude, is there like here? Like, what do you? He's like, no, that's just how it is. And it was only like $2,300.
And why didn't you buy that one?
Because I literally just bought a new book, Pro, what is the 5 or whatever from Samsung. So I bought that like a month before.
I respect it.
So, but I was like, I had a 2 before that. And I was like, okay, I'm about due for a new one. Bought that, and then I walked into the store one day over there for the Web3 festival, and I was like, I got time to kill, and I went to this little mall at the Tax Hotel I was in, and there's this whole floor, nothing but just tech for days. They had a little fan. I did buy one of these, because, you know, why not? I get fat and get hot pretty easy. This little fan looked like a Dyson. It was one of them like this big, and it weighed like nothing. But I could stand here like here on medium speed, and your hair would blow like you're on a motorcycle. On high speed, your face would start to shake.
I like it.
Yeah, I was like, okay. So, good fan. And then you can add a mist
Good
feature.
fan.
Yeah. Then you can add like a mist feature to it where you can connect like this other pack to it, and you fill it with water, and it glows like a fan of mist on it too. I'm like, that might end up hurting if you get like high speed, like almost like sandblasting your face off and cool off. But, you know, shave real quick. Oh, look, gone. I used the mister. Hey, my skin is hydrated really nice right now.
Listening.
It's also bleeding.
Yeah, it's also, I'm missing half my face. But you know what, we'll deal with that when it comes. But hey, I'm not a fan. So, yeah, guy, one of my friends, we were like walking around Mongkok, where all the shopping areas are and stuff. And he,
Where is Thailand?
Hong Kong. So he finds like, he's like, oh, my screen's messed up. He's like, no, there's a place I can get my screen fixed. I go, is your screen protector broken? He's like, no, my screen is cracked. He goes into the store.
Alright everybody, welcome to the AIB Bitcoin Study event. We're gonna get
still walk through the airdrop to start?
Yeah, you must remember.
Okay, cool.
Hands up. Thank you. What kind of carnival?
I think it's like Brazilian, like carnival, like today or something. It's like the whole mission's like shut down.
That sounds cool. Didn't know.
I think our Asher House is gonna go out for it though, if you want to.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing stuff with the family later, but I appreciate it.
I feel like you should have like a white cat sitting on my lap and petting it right now. I should call him green.
I think it's some kind of psychological test. When you choose the drink, yeah, you can understand.
Literally all the things. It's kind of crazy. I don't really care for those. Some of the flavors are. Now there's a brand called Polar Pop. It's seltzer water. They have a. They just came out with a flavor. It is. I think ginger lime. So it's almost like a ginger beer kind of. It's smooth and the flavor is really, really good. But they have cranberry lime. They have exclusive coconut I saw. The new flavor that came out. I just ordered on Amazon and then dropped off. It's pretty good.
I choose Stone Burger. I choose Stone Burger. I don't care about it. And the second one, I think, blueberry.
Somebody gave me like a lemon lime of these one time. It was so good. Caesar carbonated, I think. I didn't really care for it.
I do know some other people. I don't know if I want it.
What? Better I give back this because I want to snack them.
Oh, do you want pictures?
Yeah, I want to snack them.
Okay, good.
Better I will pass to you.
Okay.
Okay?
Oh, here, wait, maybe Jason needs spots.
Oh, I see. So you can sit here and be.
Yeah, and like
Okay.
talk to everyone.
Damn, dude.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the AID Bitcoin Pizza Week event. My name's Pat. I'm going to be your host tonight. We are very stoked to have everyone here kind of having this conversation about bridging all these recent advances in AI with the space of DeFi. Really amazing stuff on the horizon that we'll jump into tonight and hear from our panel of experts on where they think the future of this is all going. So before we get going, we're going to tell you guys how to claim this amazing airdrop that you might have seen mentioned around the venue. So if you go to your phone, you can set up your AID wallet by checking out the link on the screens around the venue. Once you have an AID wallet set up, you can scan this QR code to go to the airdrop website and claim your AID airdrop right now. So later in the night, we're going to have some challenges going, like a pizza eating competition. You're only allowed to participate if you have set up your AID wallet. So everyone make sure to do that right now. If you need any help, you can talk to the representative at the front door. They can help walk you through it. But other than that, let's get this going. Well, while you guys are doing that, we'll share a fun little piece of Bitcoin history. So the whole reason why Bitcoin Pizza Week exists because of one unlucky fellow. I think his name was like Labs or something. But this guy, so he had, I think, 10,000 Bitcoins back in like 2012. Yeah, so he famously spent them ordering 2 pizzas. So back then, like, Bitcoins weren't worth like $100,000 like they are now. So if you calculate how much money he spent, it was over $60 million he spent on those 2 pizzas. Now this is very important because this was the first transaction in the broader economy that has became Bitcoin now. So now, today, we're going to talk about stuff like, how do we bring every transaction in your life onto the blockchain? And we'll let the experts talk more about that. So we'll go ahead and introduce everyone. So the first person we want to welcome to the stage here is Jason. Jason is the CEO of AID. He's bringing over 30 years of professional experience, including 14 years in blockchain. Complete OG Bitcoin guy here. We have O'Parrot Eve, the co-founder of the renowned Orange DAO here with us today.
Hey everybody.
We have Cloud the Boy, Renee here.
What?
Agent framework.
We're doing usernames here. So.
Yeah. We have Mikal from Pizza Wallet. Very great to have you. Amazing wallet that we use. And that's our panel of experts. Thank you guys. Cool. So with that, we will get this panel going. If you need help with your airdrop, again, you can ask the representative at the front of the room here. Okay. So let's start with like a walkthrough of AID and what is this foundation that you have built for people looking to create DeFi and AI apps.
Okay. So again, I'm Jason, CEO and founder of AID. What we've built is kind of an all-in-one platform where you can get the data that you need to make the right decisions when it comes to what you're looking to do in the DeFi space. You can also have a DEX right at your fingertips and also a SocialFi aspect. So with AI, you even have like an AI bot, so to speak, within the social. So when you first go there, it kind of greets you and goes through things. What I've seen, and the reason that all this got kind of built up over the years, was that so many people had multiple windows open on their browsers. I'm sure you've all had to go through it where maybe Dex Screener's open, this other browser's open, DeFi Llama, and the list goes on, all to do something within DeFi because you want to make the correct trades, the understandable ones, and make involves money. I mean, that's what DeFi is for. It's decentralized finance. So anybody who says they're not in DeFi to not make money, well, you're lying. I look at it like, in the vision of it is keep everything together in one ecosystem, because the community is the overall advantage to it, to where everybody can participate, work together, meet other people, whether you're brand new into this space, especially if you're coming from like the Web 2 industry, or if you are, someone who's been around since day one and you remember reading when Laszlo bought the crappy pizza from Papa John's for 10,000 Bitcoins, and he bought 2 actually, which makes it even worse. Because I think today it's like $1.1 billion is what that'd be worth. Had he had something that probably forecasted what he could possibly see as the potential for Bitcoin, he probably wouldn't have bought those pizzas. But you know what? It's that type of innovation that got us to where we all are today. Is we as a community see that. Some people laugh and stuff, but let's face it, that guy was messing around with Bitcoin when it was below a penny or something like that. Nobody could have seen it jump up the way that it is today, and I'm sure he would have sold it at 1,000, 10,000. At some point, he just would have kept doing it. But AID itself, its goal is to empower the community, and community is what's going to grow the entire ecosystem, not just of DeFi, but of crypto itself. And some people, they laugh at people, they do whatever, and I think that some people need to understand that within the community, you need to work together like a family, and AID that's kind of what we're basically doing. Our banner says AID, we're empowering the future of AI blockchain ecosystems. The community is like an ecosystem, and I think that AI just builds upon that, makes it easier, and the notice of entry is significantly less with the help of AI.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely agree there. So I want to kind of open up a question to all of you guys, and we can go like down the line. You guys can give an answer. So what is like the next thing that's going to make you feel like labs in DeFi? So what do you see on the horizon that's really going to create a lot of change in the DeFi markets? And then how does AI fit into that?
I think the craziest thing that would happen soon is AI agents exchange the value between them without humans involved.
Human
All
out of the
the
loop.
Yeah.
Wow.
I would say that when it comes to AI and what the next steps are, I think that it's just going to continue to expand. The people are no longer going to be governing necessarily, kind of being the actors of everything. AI is going to be the actor, and we're going to kind of be the government that oversees and makes sure that it's running the way that it needs to, and we don't have like a replay of that movie with Will Smith where the robots take over the world or something. So as long as the people are involved in some capacity, it's just that their role is going to change versus what it's been over the last decade or so.
So what I'm seeing right now is, especially with DeFi in general, we're seeing a lot of new assets being brought on chain. When we see all these new assets being brought on chain, there's a plethora of extra different type of information that is being brought. Things that are being on chain, such as an electronic robotic
AI develops, markets are always moving towards efficiency. Whenever there's inefficiency in the market, that's an arbitrage opportunity. We see all kinds of things that vary from innocent to what maybe sometimes look like scams when like MEV, maximum value, is that maximum value extraction? Extractable value, thank you. So this is like, if you're not familiar with it, this is when there's a transaction on the blockchain, but before it settles, people are able to tell what that trade is, and then they can optimize the trade to profit from it in one way or another. It's probably a very basic description, but there's lots of ways to make money. And so as AI does more and more of this, it's really going to be a question of, well, where do you get competitive advantage? And so if everyone has AI, there will be challenges like, well, who has the best AI, and who has the fastest trading mechanisms, and you end up with this constant evolution to compete. So ever since there were stock markets, people have been finding ways to trade faster, whether that was on paper, and then with the first computers, and then on ticker tape, and then now through high performance systems where they have supercomputers down the street from the stock market in New York. Like, it's got to be located right there. And so crypto is going to keep going through this evolution too. There's no such thing as a perpetual money machine, as much as we want to think that it's only up. But in the long term, it's up. And so it's really like finding platforms like AID that can give you a competitive advantage.
And a couple cents here. I think verifiable agents is a big topic in the future. For example, I will trust my agent to exchange value with your Orion agents, but only if it's verifiable and trusted.
Awesome. Yeah, so I feel like, with AI, like ChatGPT 3 came out, almost 5 years ago now. It feels like it's been decades that we've had like this technology though. What have you seen as the biggest shift in your daily life or your daily workflow from AI?
I just trust AI more than people. That's how I feel. Oh my God, so crazy. Sitting in Waymo is safer than in Uber for me.
Yeah, I would definitely say that the trust factor with AI today versus 5 years ago or whatever is significantly impacted the use. I mean, people are using it for writing papers and fundamentalizing things that they've thought of, and they just don't know how to get that out on paper to the masses. So AI kind of helps simplify that, and obviously the more you work with the model, the more you get back from it. And that's the big thing, is that just like relationships with people, you can't have a marriage or a friendship or anything else with anybody if you don't make it work, you don't continue to communicate and everything else. I mean, that's the thing, is that if you lack communication skills, your message gets dropped, whether it be, hey, I need you to do A, B, and D, and someone goes, what about C? If someone doesn't ask that question, you could mess everything up, cost a whole bunch of money, time, effort. Now you have to go back to the drawing board and do it all over again. And I think that AI helps open that up to where you can trust that as you give it what you want, even if you don't really know what it is that you want, you can still eventually come out on end. I was tinkering with trying to create some kind of mevbot to what you were saying here a little bit ago, Ryan, just to see how fast it would take if I just prompted ChatGPT quietly. Very simple. I wasn't trying to give many details. And literally within a night, I had a bot that could execute trades. And I have coding experience. I don't like to code anymore because I like to not smack my head off the wall every day when something doesn't work because I didn't put in something right. But if anybody's a coder here, you know what I'm talking about. I had it, doing stuff, and if it didn't work right, I would just simply take the error, give it back to it, and it would talk to me like a human person and say, oh, hey, I see the error, here's what we can do to fix it, and it laid out the details. And we as humans can't lay out the details that well. We try, but it doesn't always happen. And I think that that trust level, that we just assume that it's going to do it, even though at the very bottom of ChatGPT or any other language model, it says, hey, always double check when you're dealing with sensitive information. How many of you actually check that and verify it? I guarantee if any of you do it, I need to sit down with you and say, hey, you want to come work for me, because that's amazing that you do that. But most of us go, yep, I put that in, ChatGPT said this, that's what I want. DeepSeek said this, that's what I want. Gemini said this, okay. But you won't even check it. And that's the thing, is that we literally trust AI, to what you had just said, we trust AI over humans any day. And to me, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. Good because it speeds up the work process and the workflow, but it's bad because we start to lose that communication between ourselves. And you no longer need to go down the hall if you work in an office, or get on a Slack or a Zoom call to talk to people. You're just going to assume everybody's using AI to get the answers you want,